Hello, guys and gals, me Mutahar, and as you can tell by the channel name, it's Some Ordinary Gamers. And you know the best part about being an ordinary gamer, alright, besides not having to shower and do all that boring stuff? It's actually not being a console fanboy! Now, I'm joking about the showers, I absolutely recommend you take one every day, but the reality of gaming is, it's a plastic box, okay? That's all it is, alright? People who fight console wars to this day, shock me, okay? If you're my age, almost turning 30 next year, then you are too old to be in the console war, okay? What are we still censoring the F word in the beginning, the first 2 minutes? God, this website's soft. But ladies and gentlemen, let me talk about something fun with gaming. Obviously, console wars have existed. When I was a kid, I used to be a proud Xbox 360 fanboy. You want to know why that is? Because for a while, my parents got me the Xbox 360, okay? Now, genuinely, when you're a kid, okay, you're really fighting with the other kids. You're like, no, my plastic box is better. Because you try to reaffirm that your console is somehow superior than the other one's console. Now, obviously, I worked my ass off to get the PlayStation 3 at the time, which, if you compare inflation and pricing back in the day, I was paying an arm and a leg to join the Sony Nation. But at that point, I learned that no matter what, you're going to have a great gaming experience if you choose to go out of your way and maybe invest in every system. At the end of the day, throughout a console's lifespan, you can comfortably, all right, if you work and save enough money, afford all these gaming boxes and get all these crazy experiences. I know gaming is not a cheap hobby, but genuinely, if you want to experience the best of every world, it's great to experience Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation. Look, I like good games, alright? I don't want a game to fail, alright? I'm never waking up one day and be like, oh god, I hope that Xbox game fails so I have something to talk about. Ooh, I hope that PlayStation game fails so I have something to talk about. Ooh, I hope Nintendo fails so I have something to talk about. No, at the end of the day, I want a good game. If I want good software, okay? Like Starfield's coming out. I don't want that game to be shit, because if that game's bad, then everyone loses. If it's a good game, then I can talk about how great it is. I can show you cool things in it, okay? I want good games. Nobody wakes up wanting a bad experience, okay? That's psychotic. And I know a lot about psychosis. Now, of course, I wanted to take a little step away and show you what happens when a bad game drops. This is Lord of the Rings Gollum, okay? Now, who wanted a Gollum game to begin with? I'm not even sure. But anyways, this game was revealed a while back, and I think the best way to put it was like, I guess it's some kind of like action-oriented, kind of stealthy experience with Gollum from Lord of the Rings as the protagonist, okay? Dear players, we would like to sincerely apologize. You know, at this point, game development studios just have apology.jpg just sitting there waiting to upload on social media. Underwhelming experience many of you have had with the Lord of the Rings Gollum upon its release. We acknowledge and deeply regret that the game did not meet the expectations we set out for ourselves and for our dedicated community. Now, I'm going to say it right now, our development team has been working diligently to address the bugs and technical issues many of you experienced. Don't let this apology kind of throw you for a loop, all right? They're not really acknowledging that their game is a pile of fecal matter. Now, I'm not one to throw Metacritic scores around, but Jesus Christ, 36? What the fuck happened? You know, I'm not buying this game, and, you know, like most people on Steam, I was gonna try and maybe get it, but, like, ladies and gentlemen, it is out. And even on Steam, it's got 119 reviews, 30% of them which are positive, okay? I feel like anybody defending this pile of crap is like Gollum, okay? Going, my precious game, you just don't understand it. It's good. No, this game isn't good. Even if it's not technically the best game, and I think it's actually far better than like Star Wars that just came out. Key difference is Star Wars is a great game, just shitty performance on launch. This is a shitty game with shitty gameplay mechanics, literally a PlayStation 3 looking title. Not even kidding with you, I've played PS3 games up till today. They hold up. This game looks like a fucking PS3 game, all right? They're releasing it for full price nowadays, $70 Canadian, all right? And nobody is liking it, okay? Bam, review negative across the board. Not to be shocking whatsoever. In fact, you can see the amount of people playing this game right now, all-time peak 502. I even refreshed, and yeah, it hasn't peaked past 502. This game is, from what I understand, an abject sales failure. Now, of course, there's people who are like, but there's actually a good game. I'm liking it. Again, your standards might be shit, okay? But this game is a perfect test for why the AAA games industry is in the state that it is in right now. Okay, there's a lot of good games that come out. But there's a lot of shitty games that come out, and then the industry blames gamers when they're not blaming themselves for releasing a crap tier product. This thing doesn't even hold up by PS3 standards, by Xbox 360 era standards. It is a bad game, objectively terrible. I've seen some of the puzzle solutions in this. They are designed for literal babies, okay? The games you would play at the fucking dentist's office, you know, stick the circle in the square peg, okay? That kind of shit, okay? This is boring. This is bad. This is shitty game design, okay? All right, go play a good game. All right, go buy like a couple good indie games, all right, instead of buying this dog shit. But then it's not so much the industry that has a problem as what I'm about to show you right now, okay? So this is a post, and this is made by a fanboy, I guess I could say. I'm not going to really name the name here because obviously I'm not here to direct harassment towards somebody, but it's kind of a shit post about how the new Spider-Man 2 game got announced. So PlayStation just had a reveal of a bunch of games. You know, some of them were cool, some of them were interesting, some of them I didn't care about, notably the VR shit, Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, and of course Spider-Man 2. Now, I'm excited for Spider-Man 2. I like the original Spider-Man like in 2016. I love Miles Morales. I think I'm excited to play this new Spider-Man. They're great, fun movie comic book games, okay? Don't really expect much out of them. Now, of course, this person made like kind of a joke post. Like a lot of the fanboys communities are coming out and shitting on PlayStation a little bit where they're like, look at how shitty Spider-Man 2 looks in comparison to Spider-Man Miles Morales. Again, not even telling people that, by the way, this game that you're comparing it to is released on the same generation, PS5 and PS5. This game has substantial graphic and engine improvements over the original 2016 game. Not even an accurate comparison. And other than that, what am I supposed to be seeing? A time of day lighting change? If we're being totally genuine and honest here, yeah, there's a population difference, obviously. I'm going to attribute that to the time of day. The entire world design here has got touch-ups, okay? So for instance, the building textures over here, yeah, this compared to the detail you're seeing over here with different patches and wear and tear on the buildings, far more excessively greater in the second game. Obviously, the reflection system is better, okay? You can even see that the ray tracing appears to affect far into the distance. This is a pretty serious improvement over the original game. Just watch the 10-minute gameplay that came out. Yes, this game is an improvement. I don't know what they expected. Did you want them to change up New York City entirely? I guess I missed the memo, okay? I guess every 6 months, New York's entire layout must change. Of course it's going to be the same map. We get it. It's how Mafia works, right? It's even funnier when you look at better comparisons too. Like for instance, this is Spider-Man 2, for instance. Even comparing it to like a better accurate comparison, you can see that even under the same like date systems, like obviously Spider-Man 2, the detail in it looks far better than the world in remastered even, which is still a PS4 game at heart. Obviously, graphics as time goes on starts to diminish, okay? Like here's a Spider-Man 2 shot where you can even see like deeper into the buildings compared to the original game. You can even notice if you look closely that there's actual human beings in these buildings. The reflection systems are far more impressive than even in the original remastered, which also had ray tracing. Again, I'm bringing this up because if you know what to look for, the graphics do impress. The problem is with graphics and a lot of these world designs and systems is they're just not going to be as impressive as the PS1 to the PS2 generation and the PS2 to the PS3. When I mention PS3 all the time, I really do think that's where gaming graphics kind of peaked, okay? We plateaued. Obviously, graphics and technology have gotten better since the PS3, but a lot of those PlayStation 3 games hold up really well. Games like Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, to this day, even without upscaling it, throwing it through like, graphic technology, like, up-resing it through an emulator, still looks golden, still looks great. Games like GTA 5, a PS3 game, 360 game at heart, look great. Games like, Resident Evil 5 look amazing. It's that era of gaming where like a lot of these systems plateaued. Lighting took a massive leap from the PS2 to the PS3. After that, a lot of these big changes weren't really that impressive. If anything, what impresses me with gaming is what we're able to do with the technology now. For instance, with the Spider-Man 2 reveal, I saw literally the game load like sections of the entire map. Like you could switch between like Spider-Mans nearly instantly, okay? And that's thankfully due to like SSD technology. A lot of these newer streaming technologies, systems where you're wingsuiting through the city, wouldn't have been possible on the PS4 era of systems. Obviously, I'm looking at enhancements like that. This is where like fanboyism gets super wild to me because we're not actually objectively looking at changes in video games. The other big thing is people are so obsessed with graphics where we're more interested with how a game looks than like how does it even play. Like, this game will probably be a very big improvement over the other two Spider-Man games, which are already great games. You could load them up and be lost into them for hours. Again, I feel like some of these fanboys need to understand that asset reuse happens a lot more than you think, okay? GTA does it. I'm sure GTA 6 will have a lot of reused assets from GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, so on and so forth. Resident Evil, the modern RE Engine games, they asset reuse all the time. Nobody should complain about it because the games are fun. Hell, Yakuza, my favorite game franchise, made a new city with Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon called Yokohama. They have reused that same city in other games like Lost Judgment. And you know what? It hasn't taken away from the quality of those games. Because when they reuse assets, like a city in this case, because what the fuck are you going to do with New York? Work on it from scratch again when you already have a really good render to begin with? Are you stupid? Of course they're going to reuse the assets. It allows them to build upon other things like the story, set pieces, gameplay. Same thing with Yakuza. They create new stories, new gameplay loops, new entire sections. They actually build upon the city like it's Legos, for crying out loud. This is the thing that a lot of these gamers don't really understand. There's an issue with AAA gaming companies releasing dog shit like Gollum. And then there's also a problem with like gaming fanboys who are taking this war into the current day era, where like it doesn't matter what plastic box you have. At this point, you can literally just buy whichever one that you think the games are more applicable to you on. At this point, if I was a kid growing up, I'd be so ecstatic getting any box because at the end of the day, I could play modern games, and most of these online games you can play with your friends anyways through crossplay. And then, of course, when it comes to the exclusives, yeah, that's where things differ. But at the end of the day, I want all these games to be solid. I want them to be good games to begin with. Not good-looking games. A lot of games can be good-looking. A good-looking game does not necessarily mean a fun game for you to play into. The other big thing about these games is I don't feel like graphics should go beyond the scope of what the systems can reasonably handle. We've seen the same thing with games like Star Wars, where I feel like developers bite off a bit more than they can chew, and the game is just an unoptimized mess across everything. And at the end of the day, I just want the game to look decent because I feel like if games look like Spider-Man now and Yakuza, I feel like that's a quality setting I can be completely comfortable at. At this point, the game should just literally go towards having better, more evolved gameplay, okay? I want to see more characters on the screen. I want to see more intricate gameplay systems. I want to see the AI be more human, more realistic than just the standard stealth AI, the standard nonsense we've seen since the PS3 era, okay? I want shit to evolve in a different way besides prettier pixels, all right? But anyways, I feel like this video is on a lot of tangents. I've had a lot of this brewing up, honestly, in the last couple of days, and I wanted to let it out. I kind of treat this stuff like therapy sometimes. It's a lot cheaper for me. And generally, I feel better afterwards, like I do now. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go play, some, what is it? Shadows of Doubt. Because I can't get over this detective game, dude. It's fucking god tier. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I am out.